The Tale of Two Brothers, The Shallow Sea, The Girl in the Tower, which is what we're watching right now. Not The Shallow Sea, we already did that. Not Tale of Two Brothers. We haven't done the, it's in the book. I know it is. I know The Tale of Two Brothers is actually in the book, but, it's not part of the Girl in the Tower. It's that mad bitch Salem. Yeah, so we're here for another episode of RWBY Fairy Tales. This is The Girl in the Tower. It's the tale of that angsty bitch. So I get it. To a point, ma'am. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and check this out. Again, this is one in particular I'm not expecting to actually be able to have too much to say, because I don't expect it to be too much of an elaboration on what it is, other than I'm assuming we're going to get more of the before and more end with Ozma showing up to save the day and shit. So I don't know. I am curious to see what it is, but I'm not anticipating having too much more to say, or I'm not expecting to come out of it with a shallow sea, oh fuck, what? Yeah! Or an indecisive king, what will that mean? You know? I'm more expecting like, oh, yeah, that story. Cool. Curious to see it. Let's see, you know? In 3, 2, 1, RWBY Fairy Tales.
Today's show is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Working from home? Protect
I don't believe you, Eddie.
with an extra layer of security.
I think it's brought to us by my stunning good looks. I mean, this video is. Sorry in advance.
A long time ago, a beautiful girl was locked in a tower by her cruel father.
Seemed like a bit of a dick.
He was not always that way. But when her mother died in childbirth, it devastated him.
It's definitely more of some beforehand. Yeah, man.
He vowed
Check it out on the baby.
lose his daughter. So
casual reminder, this dude is partially responsible.
Mother, why won't you let me leave this tower?
My darling, you are my most precious possession. I am protecting
Y'all saw that shit too, right?
everything outside that could harm you.
Oh, we're talking about that.
But I'll be careful.
Especially
I
considering
promise.
Salem's original look.
This was your mother's favorite tower. She loved gazing out this very window. Why would you want to leave it?
I just wish I knew what life was like outside this room.
Oh, Jen. Oh my god, I played through Halo Infinite. Jen is so fucking talented, dude.
Into the world? Perhaps
Girl is so goddamn talented. Oh, I gotta talk about that. Oh, it's gonna be interesting. I was not expecting that.
These books. What a marvelous place. Tomorrow I'll be 16, and I have never even stepped outside. Huh. Thank you, dearest father, for these wonderful gifts.
Anything for my daughter on her 16th birthday?
There is one thing I still desire.
What is that, my
I feel bad for you, old man, but you
Pen and paper.
can't
That is
be
all.
fucking up your daughter like
I have
that.
read every
Again,
book in
you are
this
partially
castle, and now
responsible
there
for
are none
literally
left.
destroying the world.
I would like to write my own stories.
Ooh.
It shall be yours.
Girl after my own heart. A
I hope
writer.
you will read these stories to me.
Never thought I'd say that about Salem.
Once there
I
lived
can't
a
stop looking at
beautiful
them now that I
maiden
see them.
Locked in a high tower by her cruel lord father. She longed to experience the world outside, but she was his prisoner. If only some brave, strong warrior would defeat the evil lord and free her at last.
Holy
They would marry,
shit.
inherit all of her father's
You
riches,
manipulative
and live
bitch.
happily ever
That's
after.
amazing.
just as she planned.
She's always
The story of
been
girls
a
with
fucking
tragic
manipulative bitch.
successes spread far and wide.
In her
then the world's
cruel
worst
father.
nightmare
I mean,
came
it's
true.
still fucked up that he locked her in a fucking cage, basically.
One
But he
warrior
also-
after another arrived to challenge his might.
I also noticed that's the
Pull the
same
girl away from
kind of,
him.
I'm pretty sure that's the same yell
Many
sound effect
tried.
that
And
Ozma
just
does.
as many fell to the Lord's powerful evil magic. Until one day,
Ugh.
a brave new challenger came.
The boy.
This hero, armed with his own powerful magic, at last defeated the cruel Lord.
I really like the style in this one. It's done really interesting, almost like pop-up booky.
You have rescued me from this castle, the girl said. So now it is yours.
Fucking
I only came to right a terrible wrong, the hero said. You rescued
Shannon
yourself.
doing the character's
shall we go
voices
now?
will always be funny to me.
Wherever
Here,
you like.
waiting for my sisters.
You are the one who has yet to see the world.
Romantic
And here
motherfucker.
we are at the end.
Yeah,
This
the
fairy
end.
tale is unique on Remnant, in that the protagonist writes her own story and her own ending. Storytellers
Yeah.
hold great power over their audiences. The girl in the tower used her power and led many warriors to their deaths. We must read with some skepticism and decide the truth.
I like seeing
for
Oz in
ourselves.
here.
Because in real life, there is no happily ever after.
All right, bud. Hey, you
Looking to
haven't
pick
got
up
there
some merch
yet.
For the holidays? Well, we just released new RWBY.
I mean, I'm not necessarily expecting us to have the most positive ending to this series completely, but I realize you've been doing this a while, buddy, but
and
goddamn.
Red vs. Blue merch on the Rooster Teeth store.
It's easy to feel that way. Your girl was kind of an asshole. she is. That is really interesting though. There's a couple, like, for the most part it's very much the same story, but I like the little extra peeks behind the curtain. Like, again, the dad is clearly fucking up. But it does seem more he was just this dude destroyed by his grief more than he was just some legitimately evil person, more just a fuck up. And don't get me wrong, does not excuse him locking his daughter in a fucking cage at all, but less more just cruel for the sake of being cruel. He was just a broken dude, which I think is interesting. Again, the fact that she was the one specifically, like, creating this image of her entrapment, her luring in heroes and stuff like that. That's such a fucking Salem thing to do. Like, again, her entire life, she is just fucking manipulative as shit. Like, that's her whole thing. So the fact that she's kind of been doing that, she literally did that from day one, even to get Ozma in there. I think it's interesting. It does add an extra layer of, And she was always kind of a little bit of an asshole. Again, in the end, nothing wrong with being like, hey, come help me, please, I'm stuck up here. But, I think she added a little, creative zest to the story that maybe, I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that's okay. Again, though, have to say, Jen Taylor, again, I played through, fucking Halo Infinite, this past week. That girl is so fucking talented, dude. She plays like 4 fucking different characters in that goddamn game. And does all of them completely differently, despite using the same voice, and like, just so much effort and work into it. She is so fucking good. Also, it was really nice hearing her as like a positive character, since I've been so used to her being Salem. Yeah, she's fucking amazing in that. And that's a great game in general. Not perfect, no game is, but, and mostly my biggest issues fit in with fucking monetization and stuff like that. But other than that, the game itself is fucking great. Yeah. So then there's obviously the last thing. I might have heard something about this before, like just an offhand comment, maybe like from Arnold or something like that.
She loved gazing. It was your mother's favorite.
Okay, so the triangular spear bit, the little diamondy shape, not it. But the two crescents, that's fucking Jean's symbol. That's the Ark family symbol. Salem has blonde hair. And kind of bluish green eyes. Now, the thing to keep in mind with this is obviously the world ended in between here and there. But then, after the world came back, Ozma and Salem did rebuild shit. And take over and start ruling again. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty neat. Like again, going into this not expecting an abundance of new information, and there wasn't a ton, but little bits gleamed in here and there. I'm like, that's fucking interesting to think about. What a happy ending. I sure hope nothing bad happens to either, and that would eventually cause the waning extinction of the human race. No shit. I always forget that Jen also voices, or at least voiced, Princess Peach. It's always wild to me. Girl got Princess Peach and Cortana. God damn, girl. Get that work. Oh, but Sam has always been conniving and cunning ever since she was 16. Again, I think there's valid points to what she was saying, but it was more how she said it, I think, was interesting. Or wrote it, I guess, technically. I think this fable is perfectly adapted. Not too much, not too little. A perfectly told fairy tale remnant. I would agree, Alex. I'd say there was a good way of putting that down. Osmond at the end, knowing what comes after the story, is really sad since he lived it. That's got to be a fucking rough one to rewatch or to re-listen to, reread. What the fuck? Audiobooks. I believe there is an audiobook for the thing, and I believe it is read by Shannon, which is awesome. I'm trying to see if anyone else in the comments pointed out because again, I'm pretty sure I saw something like Arnold had mentioned something like this, but I wasn't 100% sure about it. But especially now that I see it, I really do think that is the case. Really changes some perceptions. As presented in the show, Salem is like a traditional fairy tale damsel that needs a heroic knight to save them, but Salem writing her story down and sending the letters actually in a way saved herself. That is some meta approach to fairy tales. And that is why RWBY is fucking awesome, because it does it the entire time. You just gotta look for it. The entirety of the fucking show is them going like, what if we just showed how fucking cool old-fashioned storytelling is and then fucked with it. Like, it's so good. It's so good. This series is so fucking good. It's so good. Again, RWBY is a series that if you're not paying attention, you can have the most shallow, bare bones, boring interpretation of it possible, and a lot of people, I think, do. But if you fucking pay attention, it is so fucking deep and interesting and cool in the right areas, and I love it. God, if I had any sort of fucking talent or mental capacity, the fucking 7-hour-long fucking video essays I would write on the show. There's like 2 in particular that I really would love to talk about. But I'm so dumb and I can't word like that. You've listened to me talk. My brain doesn't work like that. I actually do really like that we did get to see Ozpin there. I thought that was kind of cool. I like Salem's design too. That one was pretty cute. Before the awful. Salem's still eternally a teenager. That's true. If she's 16 here when she starts putting it out, how old is she by the time Oz finds her? And how long until Oz then dies and she goes and talks to the gods? Because that's all important. Even then, I have to imagine she's only in her, at the very most, early 20s, which is actually really... Well, I mean, early 20s and also thousands and or millions of years old. We don't really know. It depends, because there's the other huge time jump that we don't know of. What is what is the time difference between, hey, we're leaving, and hey, humanity's back? We don't know. Was that like natural evolution all over again and shit? Did that take millions upon millions upon millions of fucking years? Towers look like Beacon Academy. I know that was something we kind of wondered about. Like back when we first heard the story from Jin, it was like, that feels very Beacon, actually, now that I think about it. There it is. Finally, I was like, how long do I have to scroll down here? Anyone notice the similarities of the king's emblem to the family symbol of a certain sword and shield wielding blonde? Yeah, Salem had kids after, but the kids seemed to have all died. That was the implication, but we don't actually know, I guess. Like, yeah, we never actually, you don't see fucking 4 corpses in that fight. You see a person about to be a corpse, and one become a corpse and then anti a corpse, but you don't see a bunch of dead babies in that scene. The assumption is that they killed the kids. But who knows? I don't know. I just think it's interesting. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was The Girl in the Tower. Again, an old tale expanded upon just enough in areas to be interesting. I like that. I came out of that more excited than I thought I was going to be. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and end that here. We have one more left, The Warrior in the Woods. And then I do believe we are officially done with RWBY Fairy Tales, which is a bummer. Especially since we don't even have like a trailer yet. We're still not close enough yet to fucking Volume 9, but I'm happy we got something. Again, the Shallow Sea was so interesting. The Indecisive King adds a lot. I like the inner workings of the world, importance of the Hunter's Children. The Chill's interesting, and I'm curious if we see it, and I did like the extra peaks we got to see in here. But anyway, The Warrior in the Woods, last one we have. Again, I believe I know a little bit about this. But we're just going to go ahead and check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. See you then, bitches.